Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that made this game, you can go to their Patreon. They're still making games. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we saw Janice at the side of the road, Julian changed their tire while me and TJ listened to ghost stories from her. And then we went into woods to get some photos or footage, at which point our character thought that TJ was in love with him, so he declared his love and kissed TJ, which freaked TJ the heck out. TJ ran, we froze, and then walked back to the motel, where we had a complete psychotic breakdown. Not the right words, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, where our something or other told us to kill Finn because he knows about something. We can't let him tell. Anyways, sudden knock at the door. It makes me jump. I curl up tighter under the covers, hoping that I just dreamed it, and whoever's outside just goes away. Then the knock again, followed by Leo's voice. Leo! Help! Otter, you in there? I cringe, squeeze my eyes shut, having completely forgotten about him. Why had he chosen to show up now? I lay there for a moment, then he yells again, which makes me jump out of bed, cringing at the pain in my joints. Groggily, I stumble to the door, leaning against it for a moment, as I feel lightheaded, trying to gather myself. Finally, I fix my face into a tired smile, before opening the door. Leo stands there, ears perked, eyes wide, as if he hadn't expected me to open the door. Oh, hey Chase, are you alright? He reaches out to rest a paw on my shoulder, looking me over. Yeah, was up all night doing my project. I left it until the last minute. I give him a sheepish grin. Leo clicks his tongue at me. Isn't that due tomorrow? And aren't you driving home all day today? I shrug. I'll be fine. If you say so, Otter. He continues to stare at me with a look of concern. What's up? Well, I guess I'm just sorry that I haven't been around more this week. I guess I was just a bit unfair to you. A bit or being a bit? Being a bit unfair to you. I rack my brain for the reason why Leo's apologizing to me, or how exactly he had been unfair to me. I guess I've just been a bit down because you weren't talking to me as much as I thought you would. Oh. Had Leo been avoiding me all week? I hadn't even noticed. Oh, well, it's alright. I was wondering why you hadn't texted me. I'd been missing you. Ah. Leo's ears flatten, and I see a look of shame across his face. You could have at least texted me too, you know. I didn't want to bother you. I could tell you weren't at all happy. All that happy. Leo lets out a big sigh, letting his shoulders droop. I'm sorry, Chase. I guess I just felt kind of shitty after what Flynn did. Then you just kind of went quiet. I scratched the back of my head. Yeah, I can't deny that he kind of ruined the vibe of the whole trip. But I really should have called you afterwards. I'm sorry too. My dad did call me back into work every day, so I guess it would have been hard to work things out anyway. That sounds familiar. He's still making you work weekends too? Usually, yeah. Leo looks past my shoulder into the motel room. Anyway, when I texted Jenna, it sounded like something was wrong. I guess she's already back in Pueblo? I shrug. Yeah, I think the tension got to her in the end, and she took off early. She was complaining about Flynn the entire time she was here. That's a lie. Leo lets out another big sigh. Great, he's been acting strange too. Oh yeah? I silently hope the wolf isn't going to ask to be let in. Yeah, driving around, acting all shady. That's actually made me want to visit you, see if everything was okay. Carl isn't even responding to me. I'm good, just tired and stressed out. Is Teach here? He's actually hanging out with an old friend in Playton right now. Once he comes back, we're gonna start driving back. Was actually in the middle of a nap. Oh, sorry. You want to get back to that then? I smiled giddily. Yeah, it'd probably be for the best. Don't want to nod off on the road, you know? Of course. He looks at me hesitantly. Listen, I know this is probably going to be our last time getting together before we all split off, but you wanna try this again in the future? Maybe over the summer. We don't have school to worry about. I just feel like I left a lot unsaid. Doesn't have to be everyone. Maybe this time I'll just tell Flynn not to come around. I smile back at Leo. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that'd be a great time. Leo smiles back, looking genuinely relieved and happy. Boy, you missed out on so much drama. Like drama on top of drama on top of drama. Like beating up Flynn, framing or saying that, well, yeah, I guess framing Carl, him breaking his leg, and then smooching what's his name, and declaring my love for him. Woof. Yeah, that's good to hear. And I'll be sure Dad knows that I went the week off. Good luck with that. And I'll let TJ and Jenna know. Thanks, Chase. Leo stands there for a moment, then steps forward to give me a hug. I hug back tightly before letting him go. I stand in the doorway until Leo's van pulls out of the parking lot, heading in the direction of the highway, probably on his way to work. Once he's gone, I deflate, feeling as if that one conversation had been equal to hours of hard labor. Still watch him go. I get a sense of sadness, like that was the last time we'd see each other that way. That was the last time we'd see each other that way, the way that we are now. Like age or like kind of almost relationshipy. I stumble back into bed, almost falling before I catch myself on the edge with both paws. I stare at the square patterns in the comforter, feeling a little sick. Like, are you talking comforter? Is that the little thing at the bottom of the bed? Like, what are those things for anyways? Just for aesthetics? For a moment, I hear whispers coming from the dark bathroom, but I don't even look up to see if I can see that figure in the mirror. I wish I'd closed the door, but I'm not going near that place again. I'm just gonna shit in the corner. So I just curl back up in the bed, facing away from the bathroom, closing my eyes. I'd gotten bored of skipping rocks quickly. Oh, you're so cute. Also, there was another thing that I might have spoiled, but maybe it's somebody's fan art, I'm not sure. Leo was so good at it, he could skip them over the water 5 times before they sunk. Even Jenna could do it at least 3. I want to waffle your face in your head. Mine would splat once, then sink like stones they were. After Leo laughed at my last one, I glared and decided to go further down the beach, where no one else could go. Let me just make sure my head. Oh, could I have accidentally skipped a stone real hard into what's-his-name's head? Hey, not in the way of the rocks. You're going to get hit. Leo's telling me to be careful only made me more angry, and I cut through the water, far below the surface, so they couldn't see me. I go back in the direction where we came from, wondering if Sydney and Toby were in the shallows that might be able to surprise them. When I come around the curve of the beach, I see that they're in fact in the shallows, but I can tell immediately that something isn't right. Toby's flat on his stomach in the water. Toby. Who are we talking about? Toby TJ? Sydney is sitting on his back. Oh. Toby has just enough room so that his head is barely sticking out of the water. As I poke my head up, I can hear the cat sobbing. Sydney isn't saying much at all. He's got a strange look on his face. It's a look I've seen before, like that time he'd covered Toby's mouth and nose when he had him pinned down and we had to pull them apart. The same look when he'd thrown a dirt clod with a rock in it at the lynx's head. A look that was determined, almost empty, but completely fascinated with what he was doing, almost like he liked it. Something about this situation scared me, though. The other times, we'd been there to help separate them or stop Sydney from going too far, but now, it looked like he was trying to kill the cat. Every now and then, a wave would slosh over Toby's mouth and nose, and he would yell and struggle frantically, begging Sydney to get off. But Sydney just sat there, enamored with his own cruelty. He was gonna kill Toby, just like he killed his dad. My vision blurs as I go under and speed towards them. I leap out of the water and knock Sydney off the lynx as hard as I can. Sydney falls back in the water before quickly pushing himself back up. I see the look of horror on his face, not at what I'm about to do to him, but because he got caught doing something bad. Not just bad, but weird and scary, and something that no one should ever do, not even if you're a kid. I don't think he could ever explain why he liked doing it. That look imprints itself in my mind. TJ runs off. I don't know where to. I try to get Sydney to tell me what he was doing for a while. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I get angry. I throw a punch. It misses and hits him in the throat instead. He lets out a hard cough, reaching up with both paws to clutch his neck. He manages to stumble to his feet without using his paws. His Luce Lobo swim trunks wetly cling to his legs. I don't give him a chance to stand for long. I tackle him again and grab his head, shoving it underwater. He scrambles frantically. I feel a dark satisfaction in my chest, and the way I can hear his screams through the bubbling of his exhaling breath. I finally let him go after a few 10 seconds, and he comes up, gagging and choking. He starts to scramble away on his paws and knees before getting up. I see snot hanging from his nose and chin as he stumbles, snorting out water, and I can tell he's about to cry. You tried to kill me. I'm telling Leo, you tried to murder me. So that was it. For some reason, the way he immediately tried to put that on me. It was then that I believed that he was trying to kill TJ. Maybe not even on purpose. Maybe just waiting for it to accidentally happen. I don't know. But now he's going to make everyone think I'm a murderer. Even though we all know he did it. He stumbles away and I go after him, grabbing him. He's trying to kill me. His voice is weak, so is his body, especially in the water. I poke my head up through the waves in front of the others. Otter, move! You're going to hit your head. I shrug my shoulders, dipping under the water again, so I can hug myself and tremble alone. Again, time passes in a way that I'm not familiar with. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours pass, then my phone starts to ring. So the main character killed Sydney. There's something ominous about it, something I can't explain, but I feel it deep in my bones, like the aches and joints. I open my eyes and see my phone just a foot in front of my face, vibrating over and over. I see the blank contact image on the screen with the name Julian under it. That ain't good. For a moment, I wonder why I have his number. Why I have his name attached to it. That's a good question. Then remember, it's because we exchanged numbers during the scavenger hunt. So that I could call him to meet up. Slowly, I reach out and press the green button to answer. I raise it to my ear, waiting, but only get silence on the other end. Hello? Hey, Chase? Julian's voice sounds hesitant, like he's not really sure about what he's doing, Like he doesn't know me. Let me guess. What's it? TJ never wants to see me again? Yeah? Hey, so something happened that I thought you, or at least someone should know about. I slowly sit up, the blanket falling away from my shoulders. What's up? Well, TJ spent the night over at my place after what you did. June's voice takes on a harder edge. For a moment, I'm not sure what he's talking about. Then I remember the forest and what happened there. For some reason, the thought doesn't create that horrible empty guilt I felt yesterday. In fact, I feel nothing. Anyway, we got him a bus ticket back to CCU, and we're hanging out until the departure time, which was an hour ago now. We were hanging out. Yeah? Well, that lizard guy showed up. Flynn? He showed up to my house. I don't know how he knew where I lived, but I think Janice told him. My heart skips a beat. Anyway, he wanted to talk to TJ, and eventually TJ told me that I could just wait inside. So he did. And after a while, I looked. They were gone. Gone? Yeah. And so was his truck. I'm pretty sure TJ went with him. But I don't know. They were both acting really strange, so I don't really feel good about it. TJ won't respond to my texts either. I see. So, since your number is the only one I have from your group, I thought I should tell you so you can let the others know too. Alright, I'll do that. Alright. There's a pause, but I'm already getting up, looking for my keys. I'll probably check things out for myself before my shift today. You know where Flynn lives? I can tell that the Buck doesn't really trust me with this information. And why would he? I don't care though. Yeah, he's on the Shafford Street. I can read. Janice will be able to point out where it is for you, but I'm heading over now. Let me know if you find anything out. I will, later. Bye. I feel my heart rate picking up speed as I finally find my keys under my backpack on the table. I snatch them up and jog out of the motel, the heat of the afternoon sun coming up over me in a wave. I realize now how late it is. I've been in the motel for nearly a full day, but to me, it's just only been a few hours, if that. I should be on the highway right now, if not already back in Pueblo. But I realize that none of that matters now. As I sit down in the oven-like heat of my car, I see it staring at me from the back seat. I'm not afraid of it, at least not right now. It means that I'm on the right track, I think. I'm doing what I was meant to do. I know where Flynn and TJ are. He probably thinks that's the best place to get the truth out of TJ. His truck sits there in the small parking lot alone, gleaming in the setting sun. I pull up right next to it and look inside. Empty. I park and shut off the engine, jumping out, jogging toward the faint trail, through the sagebrush. I know exactly where to go. Instead of turning right, like we did yesterday to get to the boulder, I take a left. I haven't been in this part of the beach in over a decade, not since it happened. I know this is the right decision though, and soon enough I see the bend in the beach. It turns into the shallows, where we played in so many times. I also see an onset of tracks leading to that direction. Flynn's footprints, not hard to recognize in their long, clawed toes. But there's another pattern next to them. They aren't footprints, but drag marks, like Flynn had been dragging something next to him. Ooh boy. I pick up the pace and start to run, breath catching in my throat, that feeling of not being able to turn back looming over me like a dark fog. The water and sand around me is starting to tinge a soft red in the setting sun. For a moment, I wonder what would happen if I stop. What if I turn back instead of turning this corner? I know my life will turn out very, very different if I do. The thing in the mirror, the town, it told me so. But I feel like I'm set on a set of train tracks cutting through the desert and no alternative path to speak of. And I've been on this track ever since I decided that I need to protect TJ. So, the beginning of the game, I guess. As I turn the corner, I see them immediately. TJ sitting on the beach, his knees drawn up to his chest as he stares downward. Flynn is standing over TJ, his paws on his hips, looking down at the cat. It looks like he'd been thrown there by the lizard, and I finally feel rage replace the anticipation of fear. It's finally going to happen, and now I want it to. Hey! Flynn immediately whirls around, eyes wide as he spots me sprinting towards him. He takes a step back as I get closer, but I skid to a stop 10 feet away, glaring at him as my paws clench into fists. What the hell are you doing? I scream at him, wanting to let him know just how pissed I am. Feels good, finally not being afraid or worried about what's going to happen, because I know there's no other option. Flynn looks taken aback for a moment, looking me up and down before he straightens up. He hasn't forgotten what happened between us yesterday, and I can tell that he's afraid of me. Get the fuck out of here, Chase. This isn't about you. You fucking bet it is. Look at TJ, and he's gone back to staring at the ground, expression vacant. What are you doing to him? I'm not doing anything to him, except asking him some questions. About? You know exactly about. He's trying to confirm your secret. Get away from him. I say each word with deliberation, taking a few steps close to the lizard. Flynn steps back again, but only with one foot, and he doesn't back away further. You stay the fuck away from me, Chase. And what the hell have you been doing this whole week? Flynn seems to grow a little more confident with that. What do you mean? I stop and cross my arms, waiting. What I asked you yesterday, and what happened to Carl, I think I'm owed a fucking explanation. I feel the anger rise up even more in my chest. You want an explanation after the shit you've been pulling? Flynn once again looks taken aback by anger. The hell are you talking about? Paw moves to my pocket. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That fucked up scavenger hunt that you sent us on. That's you started with Carl. And Flynn gasps at me. Gapes at me? What? I feel some of my resolution dissolve as the lizard face looks completely bewildered. He's lying. Anger swells up again. Quit fucking lying to me. I know what you did, and I know what you think happened. Flynn steps forward. Chase, get the fuck out of here. This isn't about you. TJ's telling me what happened. I look down at TJ, again at that vacant stare. What the hell? What did he tell you? Leave. This isn't about you. Flynn walks up to me, giving me a hard shove in the chest. I stumble back. Really? I feel my paw reach into my pocket, as if of its own accord. I grasp the note, and even though my nerves fail me as I'm pulling it out, it seems to happen on its own. Then, what the hell is this? I unfold the note, ripping the old paper in the process. But it's intact enough where I present it in front of the lizard's face. Flynn's brow furrows in confusion for a moment before he takes it roughly from my paws. He stares at it, eyes scan the page, as if looking at it from all angles. Finally, his eyes flick up to look at me. What the fuck is this? He whispers hoarsely. I look straight back at him, waiting for the expression of familiarity, the guilt, the knowledge this piece of paper is his own doing. But instead of that, the mirror promised, I get a shock and confusion instead. Just like that, I feel my determination break down. It was as if something had been driving me to this moment, and that cloud covering my brain breaks for a moment. For a moment, things are clear, and I'm left in a daze. What is this? Let me just make sure my face is right. His voice turns up into a scream, and it's such a horrible sound that I stumble back. He holds the paper up, showing me, and I stare at it as if I've never seen it before. Unlike the other notes, this one is a crude drawing. On the far left of the page is a small stick figure with lynx's ears, is kneeling on a beach, surrounded by clams and starfish. His covering his face, tears falling to the sand below. Extending out from the beach, poorly drawn waves spreading across the top of the page to represent the lake. Far below the waves, two figures are connected near the bottom of the page. One has X's for eyes, his legs and arms splayed out, the tiny little bubbles coming out from his mouth. Below that figure sits another below him, grinning mischievously, holding the drowning stick figure down by his tail. As if the picture wasn't descriptive enough, words and arrows label the characters. Toby is sitting on the beach, Sydney is dead in the water, and Chase holding him down. I looked at the drawing so many times before, but now to have Flynn be the one to show it to me? But he had to have been the one to draw this. Who else could have done it? But here he was, standing in a state of shock, just like me, but I could see his expression very quickly morphing into fury. All my plans to confront him, to figure out how he found out, are thrown out the window because he just found out. I'm completely unprepared, and convincingly, the presence that spurred me on has left me as well. And convincingly, what was it? Conveniently. And it's only now that I realize how stupid all this was. It's like I've been tricked. Chase. Flynn's walking towards me. His expression is like nothing I've seen before. Chase. I can see it in his eyes, what he's about to do. I back away, stumbling, and that's when he rushes, tagging me to the ground and crushing me into the hard sharp rocks underneath. Unlike yesterday, all of my strength and confidence has abandoned me. It's like whatever had been driving me has left me right at this moment, taken several steps back to watch. Like I wanted this to happen all along. Flynn's fist hit my face, find my face. First one on the right, then another on the left. Each one brings a flashlight to my vision, and at that moment, all sense leaves me. It's kind of nice in a way, like you don't have to be present for the horror I've brought on myself. A few more punches come my way, the impacts like earthquakes in my head, but I don't feel any pain. Instead, they leave me feeling stunned, like I'd been electrocuted. I can feel blood pouring from my nose like a faucet, through, and soon it fills my mouth with a familiar metallic taste. You fucking piece of shit. You think you can just play with me like this? His strong, big hands find my neck and start to squeeze. Through blurred vision, I can see him above me, eyes filled with tears, glaring down at me with a rage that I didn't think was possible. You piece of shit. You won't fucking get away with this shit this time. I hear the rustling leaves again, my reflection, Sydney, the town, whatever it is, laughing at me. Vaguely, I wonder if Flynn had been spurred on by it too. We're puppets. Nothing seems real right now. What's happening to me, to Flynn? What's happening between us? It seems impossible, but the breath that's stuck in my throat is very real, and I start to see stars and blackness begin to cloud my vision. After the things I've done, I guess I deserve it. I guess this is the appropriate way to go out. Flynn. A soft voice coming from the distance. It was me. I did it. Hands come away from my throat, and I take in one massive breath, like I'm coming up from the water after being under it for far too long. Spit and blood go down my throat, and into my lungs, and I roll over, letting out a great cough, spraying the rock in front of my face with dark drops of blood. What? I watch blood drip into the flat rock in a steady rhythm from my nose, having to breathe extra hard through my mouth because of it. I said I did it. It was an accident. I pushed him into the water, and he drowned. I grabbed the rock, stumbling to my feet, feeling that old anger return. He's going to kill Toby. Stop him. I stumble unsteadily to my feet and turn to see the lizard with his back to me approaching TJ. He will never leave Toby alone, just like Sydney. I stumble after him, hand tightening around the rock, the back of Finn's head in my sights. What did you say? But you can stop it. For good. Break the circle. I'm a few steps away from Flynn when I swing, bringing it down on his head as hard as I can. The sound is awful. Immediately, Finn bends over, screaming in pain as his paws come up to clutch the back of his head. I swing again, this time glancing off the top of his head, most of my power robbed by the poor angle. Flynn turns to me, then, still crouched low, tries to tackle me. I stay on my feet, for the most part, but I'm pushed back several feet as I grab onto his back for support. I feel the cold water on my feet, and that's when I grab the lizard under his armpits and start to pull us both out further. Flynn doesn't seem to realize what's happening until the water's up to our knees. He stands up straight, and I see the blood running down his face from his head. He's glaring at me, expression wild, gaze clouded, just like mine, and he takes a swing at me. It lands on my jaw. Though my head is snapped to the side, and another flash fills my vision, I'm able to grab that paw and swing him out further into the lake. The lizard stumbles in the shallows, standing up waist deep, and that's when I throw myself at him with everything I've got. I tackle him into the water, and we're both submerged. How did we go from, knee-deep to, submerged? I feel the change in Flynn's demeanor. The change as he realizes that he's gone from fighting for the truth to fighting for his life. Claws come out and scratch my arms, but I ignore it, the cold of the water numbing any pain that I might have felt. I kick us further out into the lake, my powerful tail and body coming into play, doing what it was built to do. Murder. I know I knocked the breath out of Flynn when I barreled into him, so he doesn't have much time before he needs another breath. I'm not going to give it to him. I thrust us both out into the water, downward, against the rocks and sand below us. He grasps at me, kicking with his feet, and I catch a glimpse of his face then. It's not angry anymore, or clouded. Instead, he stares at me with shock and utter disbelief. I'm killing him, and he realizes it. He also realizes the truth then. I see it in his eyes. What he wanted to know for the past decade, he realizes in the last minutes of his life. He kicks at me with his feet, his movements becoming even more desperate. His paws move to my neck, trying to choke me again, but it's useless. I already have my breath. I watch bubbles spurt from his muzzle, then, all at once, in a gush. His paws go from strangling to pleading. He grabs me by the shoulders, shaking, tugging, looking into my eyes. But I'm relentless, that feeling of not being able to turn back to strong. His muzzle opens, trying to breathe out, only taking in water. His thrashing turns up a notch, scratching my legs with his claws as he kicks me even harder. This second burst of desperation only lasts a few seconds, though. His movements grow more and more tired, weaker and weaker. He's not looking at me anymore, eyes staring past me, towards the glimmering surface above. A place I'll never let him see again. His movements become more sporadic, like he's even having convulsions. My instincts tell me to let him go, to end this insanity, but my paws don't let me. I close my eyes and press harder. After a few more minutes, I don't feel any more movements. Slowly, I let him go, careful not to look at his face. His body stays still for the most part, moving back and forth gently with the current. I kick to the surface, my limbs numb as I break through the cold air above. Pull myself through the rocks, grasping and feeling incredibly weak for some reason. My stomach lurches, and for a moment I feel as if I'm going to throw up. I stay there on my hands and knees, staring into the water at my reflection. My face looks blank for a moment. I see the horrible, gashed mouth. I know I'm crying, even if the lake water is covering it up. What happened? But as I look up, as I see TJ there, everything comes together. He's on his knees, staring past me, mouth hanging open. Suddenly, I remember exactly why this all happens, and my chest fills with warmth and love for the cat as I stumble towards him on my knees. TJ doesn't seem to notice me as I wrap my arms around him, pressing his face to my chest. I've got you. We're okay. He's not gonna hurt you anymore. I breathe heavily into the lynx's ear as I whisper to him, wanting to let him know that everything is going to be okay. Finally, I feel him shake his head against my body. Chase. Why? Because he knew, and he was never going to leave us alone. He tried to kill us. I kiss the top of the cat's head gently, wanting him to know how much I care. Is he? He's gone. TJ sobs against me, but I only hug him tighter. Why did you do that? He reaches out to my left, and I look, seeing the paper and the lake. I'm not sure what she's talking about. Me showing Flynn the paper, or me killing him. I don't know, so I don't answer. Instead, I hug him even tighter, whispering into his ear. It'll be just like last time. We won't tell anyone our secret. Something turns ominous in the air. That horrible tension I'd felt dissipate when we opened the letter's returns. This town needs secrets. We'll tell him he tried to kill us. We had to protect ourselves. Them. TJ leans tiredly against me, his arms limp. We're going to be okay, just like last time. We can forget. TJ doesn't respond, so I look at the lake and get a shock as I feel Flynn floating there, close to the shore. As I see Flynn floating there, close to the shore. I thought if you I guess bodies do kind of float up, maybe. I'm not sure. He's face down. Back is barely touching the surface. For a moment, I wonder if it's not too late, if there's still enough life for him to be revived. But that same feeling holds me back, and I cling to the TJ instead. We're gonna be okay. We were manipulated. We were moving in circles. We keep moving in circles. The voice comes to the surface for a moment, for the first time sounding stunned. I return to focusing on the lynx, the whole reason why I did any of this in the first place. Whatever happens, I'm going to protect him from all the shitty people in the world that want to hurt him. By the time we get to our feet, it's dark, and I have to help the lynx along the sagebrush, through the sagebrush. He's quiet, robotic, like he was the first time this happened. I help him into the car, and I get to the driver's seat, quietly pulling him out of the parking lot and leaving Flynn's empty truck behind. I watch it disappear into the rear view mirror, sitting alone under the yellow parking light. As we drive along the road, the lynx stares out the window. I can still feel the tension in my arms and legs, making it difficult to keep the wheel steady. My heavy, wet clothes stick to the seat. Finally, we get to the freeway and look back again. Echo, just a series of tiny lights, insignificant on the desert landscape. It seems absurd that place where all that horror happened, where all this horror still is. Chase? I snap out of my daydream, looking over the lynx, his eyes glowing gently in the fading light. After we're done with wherever we're going. The police station? Yeah. can you give me a ride back to CCU? I miss the bus. TJ smiles sheepishly. I blink, wondering what to say. Does he not realize? Then I realize what he's doing, what's happening. Just like last time. I clear my throat. Oh yeah, definitely. I'll give you a ride for sure. Thanks, Jace. TJ smiles at me, then goes back to looking out the window. I wonder if he'll forget what happened, like what happened with Sydney. I hope that I can. We drive off into the dark desert toward the soft glow of Playton in the distance. 5 years later. Oh, I guess this is the, this is supposed to be, Arches? Seriously? This is gonna be such a good fucking time. You'll be glad you came. The big grizzly bear nudges the coyote playfully, almost knocking the canine into the passenger window. Ow! Keep your paws on the wheel. Or your paw at least. This road isn't in great shape. Cameron eyes the giant wolf's half-eaten burger in the bear's equally giant paw. Deb's other paw casually steers the wheel, elbow resting through the open window. The bear looks happier than he'd been in a long while, somehow grinning as he chews. The coyote sighs and stares out the window, watching the desert landscape fly by. It was nothing like this in hometown, and he found himself wishing he'd been back amongst the pine forests. Pine forests sound great. Something he'd been wishing. Sorry. It's late, and I've been reading a lot today. He moved to Pueblos for school. Technically, this was his natural habitat, but he found the whole place depressing somehow. Empty, dry, and rough. What you pouting for? I'm not pouting. Yeah, you are. Cameron sighs, deciding to change the subject. So, why couldn't Larry go again? I don't know. Said something about his car breaking down. I think he just flaked, though. Aren't there other haunted places in Pueblo that we could just gone to, like the school? The bear shakes his head, letting go of the wheel, to crumple up the foil that had packed his sandwich, toss it in the back. Not like Echo, dude. This place is the most haunted town in the entire fucking world. Cameron sighs once again, then suddenly grasps his seat as the car swerves and turns hard into a smaller road, heading towards a big blue lake. What the fuck? Whoops, sorry, I almost missed the turn. Gotta hit Lake Emma before the actual town. The road quickly ends in a small parking lot, empty and cracked. Why? Because a lot of shit happened here. The grizzly hops out of the car, making the entire thing tilt sideways as he squeezes bulk out before reaching back for the camera bag. The coyote allows himself one last lesser sigh before getting out as well. Yeah, these guys look so much more cartoonish than the rest of the guys in this game. The bear waits for him, reaching out a large padded paw. Cameron takes it and immediately draws into a tight embrace and a kiss. The coyote tenses up for a moment, then waits until Devin releases him. Can you not do that after you eat a big, greasy hamburger? Cameron makes the show by wiping his lips. Devin rolls his eyes. No pleasing you, is there? Oh, that guy has a little scar on his eye. Nevertheless, the grizzly holds out his paw again. Sorry it's late. I've been reading a lot. And Cameron takes it, the two of them walking towards the faint trail. It's not a pleasant walk, and the trail almost obscured by sagebrush and dry vegetation. Once they reach the edge of the lake, Devin has to help the coyote down the rough, rocky terrain. The coyote feels like a child as Devin lifts him down off the boulders and onto the beach. The bear free tree trunk biceps, bulging as he does. They stand there for a moment, taking in the scenery, then Devin leans over to set the camera back down. Devin stands there, looking around at every at the very unphotogenic lake. So what exactly happened here you're so interested in? Devin takes off his backwards baseball cap, for a moment to smooth his head fur down. He puts it back on and bends over again to take out the camera. Some people say this lake is haunted too. Some guy got killed here in 2005, according to a few articles I read. Wonderful. That was self-defense, though. That was during the whole hysteria thing, or whatever. Devin pans the camera across the length of the lake before stopping on Cameron. The coyote frowns at being filmed. No, that was 2017. The bear pans the camera the other way now, and Cameron feels himself getting sweaty under his shirt already. Some coyote he was. It's so hot here. Once we set ourselves up in the motel, we'll have some shade. It's still open? Ha, nothing's open. Everything's abandoned now. We're gonna get arrested for trespassing. The bear finally turns off the camera, leaning over to shove it in its bag. Psh, cops never come down here. It's too out of the way. Anything for the views, right? Hey, my subscribers are gonna love this shit. Now come on, let's get back to the car. The bear turns and starts scrambling up the rocky boulders, Cameron waiting as he does. That's when the coyote turns around to glance back at the lake one last time, and the lizard lays in the shallows, splayed out, staring in the sky. A lizard. But he's not staring because his eyes are gone, half of his muzzle missing. He's not staring because his eyes are gone, half of his muzzle missing. Fuck! Cameron jumps back, tripping over the rocks and landing against the sharp edges. The coyote husses in pain, but the bear spurs him on, trying to scramble up the rocks after Devin. The bear already turns around though, reaching down to pull Cameron up. Shit, you alright? What happened? As Cameron clings to the larger bear, he looks back, but nothing's there. I don't know. I saw... Devin looks in the same direction, squinting. Cameron stares a while longer, then turns back and shakes his head against Devin's chest. When Cameron looks up at the bear, he's grinning though. Holy shit. Did you see a ghost? The coyote scowls. What? No, I just thought I saw something. It was the reflections of the water, or something. The bear gives him a knowing smile. What? You're gonna be a believer by the end of all this, I know it. Grizzly hugs him tightly, as Cameron frowns, still looking back at the shallows. It had been so real. But before he can even really collect himself, Devin is pulling him along. Again, sorry. Back into the car. So yeah, that's supposed to be arches, which I feel like I'm going to do after Route 65, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do... Like, I feel like I might do Route 65 first. If it's a one route thing like Adastra and maybe short, I might do that before I go back to Echo. I want to give, Arches more time to be completed, because it's got it's at version 0.6. And woof. I wonder what the other routes are like. Hidden gallery code, gas. Huh. I guess I might just type it in the thing. Wait, do we have a gallery? Well, I guess we'll just, have all this stuff go by. Can't say I'm mentally feeling great myself. So... I could see this as kind of a thing where it's like the main character is impartially confessing by doing this whole thing. Like he's the one that did the scavenger hunt that created it and whatnot. But then there seems to be also this, spookiness going on, kind of like with what's seen the lizard guy. I wonder if the hanging fox has anything to do with the smoke room, which I hope not, because I like. Let's see, William is the coyote guy. Well, what is his name? Murdoch? I think so. Maybe. I wonder if you put your game on Steam if you have to pay for it, like if you do it for free, you know? It said there's... Oh. Okay. Huh. Back. Huh. Click on the lake. We're here. Oh, I see. So I guess this is everything before we pick a route, and that's his route, that's his route. This is this route. Oh, good thing there aren't any penises here. I'm wondering if there's like a romance route for these guys. I wouldn't exactly think of that guy as being a romantic guy, but yeah, you know, it could just mean there's more stuff, because there is more stuff here, though that's romantic. Well, I think for the next Let's Play, we are going to go with Leo, and then I guess her, and then I might be more interested in what the fuck is going on with him, and then go with him last, you know? Oh boy. That ended. Just Jesus. Oh. Okay. Odastra. I can't click on it though. Oh, maybe I have to like actually get to the part. Can I There's a lot of things that we don't see. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So anyways, please comment, cause I like comments, comment you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise, if you like my YouTube and like see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow, and please remember spaying your animals to help control the pet population. And hey, if you weren't a huge dick, you might not have died. I don't know what's gonna happen for the other groups, but yeah! Seriously. The fuck? I mean, he does look a good bit taller than him. Like, yeah, like, maybe about that length there, and then this length up here. I guess arms are about the same. Yeah. He's just like, dude, I'm gonna have to smoke so much weed to deal with the broken leg and the fact that he's dead now and that he tried to kill him, and yeah. I think I do remember seeing a picture of him. Let's see. Guys walking down the road. Yeah. There's a picture of him with which seems to be like a business tie, like a business shirt and tie on, and then there was like some other lizard. It says Flynn going at it, but I guess there's like maybe 2 lizard people in this game. Who knows? Unless that's like an earlier version of Flynn. Looks more like a gecko. I don't know. Yeah. End of this Let's Play. And I'm gonna have to figure out what to do afterwards, but the amount of videos I got for this game are not a ton, but for the series, since coming after Winds of Change, I have, actually a year's worth of content. Happy New Year's. because this is made in January. Well, actually, you can see right here that date. Just in case I get lost at sea or spend times at sea. I don't like playing video games. So yeah, you want to play this game? It's out for free. If you want to support the people that made this game, Patreon. And until next time on the Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix of Echo, or some other game, gonna figure that out. So thanks and see ya.